2.
Hi, Facebook followers. The Busy Blonde team is here, and we wanted to touch base and let you guys know about our behind the scenes and also AMCAP people behind the scenes so that we can let you know how a real deal goes down to everything that's going on in the background and things that you see and things you don't see. So I wanted to introduce my team. Of course, we have Kristen, our buyer's agent.
Hi, Facebook.
And then we have Morgan, my assistant. And then we have good old Dustin, who keeps us going from contract to close, our transaction coordinator. And then with AMCAP, we have Daniel and Crystal. And we know that all of us work together with the lenders. And there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that people don't know of. And so, Daniel
and
Crystal.
Hi.
Hey, Facebook. Martha is absolutely correct. That's a big part. We would not be able to do more than half the things that we do without certain people that you might not see as often as you see us. You might not, get the updates or the approvals, everything that we do on my side of it. Speaking from the lender as the LO, on my side of it, I know for a fact I wouldn't be nowhere without Crystal. So Crystal's definitely one of the best processors I know. Definitely a super hard worker. So she's great, and definitely I want to make sure that she can tell a little bit about what she does and why it's so important to our success as a team.
Thank you, Daniel. Daniel's also pretty awesome. But basically, once the buyer gets their contract and they're getting their disclosure signed, they come to me and we hang out together for about 30 days up until it's time to close. I'll basically review the file with the loan officer, with the buyers, give them an insight on what's going to happen, how we'll work together, and I just let them know what additional documents we need to get updated or any questions I think the underwriter may have. I kind of pre-underwrite the file with the buyer so that, for one, they understand the process and how it works for them, and also so that when we send their loan to underwriting, we want to get their file as clean as possible, which allows them to close quicker than normal. So it's super duper helpful for the customer when we work together, and I really enjoy it. It's a good feeling to work with the buyer when they're purchasing their home and making one of the largest purchases that they'll ever make in their life. So it's an honor actually to be able to do what I do every day.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Yeah, we are going to talk about the process that we go from the time you meet the realtor to the time that you go to the buyer's agent and then to the lender and to the transaction coordinator. So we're going to go through all of this. First, we're going to talk about the listing side. What happens whenever my team gets a listing and how we go about doing that. So myself, if I'm on an appointment with the seller, I am going to first make sure that behind the scenes, Morgan is getting all the details for me to take to the sellers, because I am always looking for buyers for my current listings, and I'm looking for other sellers or buyers that Kristen might have. So what we do is, behind the scenes, Morgan will pull all the data about the property on the person that called and needs a market evaluation. She will pull all the documents that we already have and the order checklist that we have, so that everything is going according to plan behind the scenes and nobody skips a beat. So the first thing is that, one of the things y'all don't even know what we do is a lot of paperwork and a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails. And we used to do a lot more faxes, but we have scanners today that really help us. And we scan a lot more in email. And it's a better tracking system than old fax machines. They used to go on the fax machine and nobody would pick it up, and everybody kept saying I didn't get it and all that stuff. So we have better systems, and it gets better each year. So Morgan, would you like to talk a little bit about the listing side on what you do for me before I go to a house?
Well, I definitely, like she said, a lot of paperwork involved. So we pull comps on properties, and we want to make sure when we get there that we have all of the information that you want. Any questions that you have, we have it right in front of you. There's nothing that we're like, oh, well, we're just telling you this is how it works. No, we have the documentation. We have everything right there in our presentation, letting you know exactly what we're going to do for you. We also market your property online. I make custom videos for all of Martha's properties. We shoot them out to hundreds of websites, not just social media. We work with Google, YouTube, all kinds of stuff. We're going to make sure that your property gets seen by a lot of people.
Thank you, Morgan. And so after she gets all of that prepared, then I'm going to review everything, and I'm going to do my own data research. I mean, I'm from the area, so I already know a lot about the area. I know a lot about the homes. I know a lot about the neighborhoods. And so I will gather all of my information, and I will take it to the seller's house, and I will look at the house and make sure that there is nothing extraordinary about that home that will bring in a lot of value. And then I sit down with the sellers, we look at the house, we review all of that. And then if I take the listing, and I usually take the listings, and then what I'll do is I will leave that back in Morgan's hands. And then we start getting phone calls, and that's where it goes over to our buyer's agent. Because if we get calls on my listing, I want to make sure that all of our clients are protected and taken care of individually so that they can actually say whatever they need. And then me and Kristen would communicate with each other, and they have the fiduciary the fiduciary relationship with us, so that I represent the seller and Kristen represents the buyer. And then, like I said, once we get the listing, Morgan will then do all the marketing online, emailing, Zillow, and there's a ton of things we use. Of course, they're in our listing presentation, so give us a call so we can share that with you. And then once we are done with all of that, then we will go into escrow. So whether it be Kristen or any other realtor that brings us a contract, that's what's called going into escrow. Once the money is deposited at the escrow company or title company, and the option check is given to the seller, then it's a true contract, and we turn it over to Dustin. So I will let Kristen and Dustin explain the way that they work. And then whenever that happens, we'll move it back over to Crystal and talk about how all three of y'all work together. So Kristen, would you like to start first on getting the contract and then sending it to Dustin?
Yeah, sure. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Martha, because here, in the state of Texas, if you don't have a buyer's agent, then all parties are going to represent the sellers. So that's good to know and to tell our consumers and clients that having a buyer's agent, having a listing agent is beneficial to both parties. So once I do get under contract and we negotiate and get the right price and the right home for my buyers, and all parties have signed, then we have an executed contract. And I shoot over the contract to Dustin, our transaction coordinator and manager, and he really takes it and runs with it. He does all the behind the scenes that keeps everything in track. So Dustin, you want to tell us a little bit what you do as soon as you get our contract?
Yeah, so my goal is to really help the agent get back out in the field and work with the client. Agents aren't typically really super good at the paperwork, so that's something that they hire us to do. And there's so many steps in a contract process. There are literally so many deadlines, and every year it gets to be more and more and more. There's more deadlines, there's more paperwork. And so it's really good when a team has someone actually focused on that contract from the time of execution all the way through to close. If they're out working in the field, they can't have their eyes on it 24/7. But Martha and Kristen, they do. They have a team that actually has their eyes on this thing from the point of execution all the way through to post-closing stuff. So some of the things I do is I help coordinate inspections, help coordinate checks. I make sure that all parties know who the other person is. We do video emails. That way you can actually see my face instead of it just being an email. We do phone calls. We stay on top of the important dates like the option period, the third party, the title commitment, survey, HOA docs, and all of those kinds of things. We'll help expedite all the paperwork for the client and all parties involved, like amendments or anything like that. We do stay in touch with all parties throughout the entire transaction process. So even if the agent is out in the field, you'll be able to get a hold of me and get any answers that you may need on the contract. We help you schedule the closing. We send out a closing invitation. And Martha does something really cool. We do a closing flash drive for you. So at the end of the closing, you actually get a closing flash drive with all of your transaction documents on it. That way, if you need your home warranty or whatever it may be, you're going to have that closing flash drive so that you can actually pop that in and access any of your documents. So it's really cool to have us because we work in tandem with your agent, kind of like what Crystal does as well. She's always on the ball. So that's our purpose, is to really help supplement what your agent is already doing. The more hands that can have their access to the file and the more eyes you have on that file, the better off you are, the safer you are.
Absolutely. And Dustin made a really good point. Those of us that are salespeople are not necessarily detailed. Please don't take that against us. But yes, I have found that being in this business for so many years, I do not love paperwork. I know it inside and out. I know the legal aspects of it very well. And, whenever Dustin is taking care of the details, and I'm still negotiating on your behalf as the seller, listing agent, and Christian is still negotiating on the buyer's behalf. So how we all work together and do our part, it makes us, specialize in that. Because in being a realtor, you wear at least 7 hats. I mean, there is so many things to do, and you're also the middleman between the agents and the title company and the transaction coordinator and the lender. So it's really amazing. A lot of people just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I had a client one time that I worked for, and she wanted to be my assistant. And when she came over as my assistant, she was like, oh gosh, I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes, because it just seems so easy where you just drop into a house, take the listing, get a buyer, and then you go to closing. And it's not that simple. So we just want y'all to know that we really care about our clients, and we really want to make sure that it goes very smoothly. And Crystal, I would love to hear how you work with us. It's really important that Dustin, the buyer's agent, the listing agent, and the lender all work together, as well with the title company, who I think we had on last week or the week before. And basically, if all of us are having issues, then the transaction is going to have issues. So we really want y'all to know that we work well together. And one of the things that, we just want everyone to know is that we care about how the transaction is going to go. We're not here about the paycheck. We're here to really educate our clients and to teach them that, this is the best thing they're going to do in their life, is to buy their first home and then move up and move down. So, Crystal, I'd love for you to share with us how you work and how everybody works together with you.
So you all are really awesome to work with, first off. Dustin is always on it. And basically what we do is, I'm going to let the realtor know, or you all know, hey, this is where we are with the file. I've got the disclosure signed. Have we gotten the initial inspection done? So that I know if there's any repairs being negotiated, we need to hold off on getting the appraiser out, or if we need to go ahead and move forward with the order. So our communication is a key factor in working with the buyer, making sure they know that we're all a team and we're working with them, and also making sure that all the administrative things are going to go smoothly. So it's super important for me to make sure I keep in touch with you all, so that I'm not prematurely doing something and it causes kind of a domino effect. So again, the communication is key to make sure we are not running into issues. And that's how I'm known for closing my loans early, on time. Those are the things that I pride myself on, because I communicate heavily with my realtors and buyers. I
was going to say, your communication, I've worked with a ton of lenders. Your communication is incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I pride myself on that because I love having happy customers and realtors. And that's what I do. I don't want, it's a big transaction. It's one of the biggest transactions that a person can do in a lifetime. So if I make a mistake, or don't feel like it's important to communicate or answer a phone call or response on email, that's that person's life saving. That's their kids' registration for school. That's their moving truck. That's their family member that flew in from out of town to help them move or gave them money to help them get a home. So it's a big, big deal. So even though I'm behind the scenes and a lot of people don't get to see me, my job is super duper important. If I don't do my job, nobody gets what they need or want. So I have to make that my primary focus. And communicating with you all is one of the main things that helps me achieve that goal every time. So when you've got...
I have to butt in here, Crystal, and let people know is that a lot of times we don't get the chance to talk with the processor in all of the deals. And one of the things that I love about Crystal is she is on the front lines with us. And seriously, you get so many updates that it can be overwhelming sometimes for new buyers to be like, I'm getting so many updates. But to be honest, if you've ever been in an experience where the buyer is talking about how the lender didn't do this and the lender didn't do this, we have found in working with AMCAP that we have found that the buyers, when we buy properties, we don't always give them what they need. So the fact that they communicate with us so much, you really don't lose what you're going to need. And that's how they close so fast. Because if you tell somebody over and over and over, we all know that you need to be told things multiple times to get it through your head, and especially when you're new at something like buying a house. So I really appreciate the way that they do that. Yes, people might think it's a little annoying sometimes because you're getting so many updates, but it's the best thing to get more communication than no communication. And that is one of the things I really, really appreciate about how Crystal works behind the scenes for us.
Thank you, guys. I know that sometimes with the updates, I'm even hesitant to send it out because I'm like, man, they're going to be tired of getting emails from me today, but I have to do it. In the long run, I know everyone's happy when we close and fund and our buyers got their keys and they're excited, they're moving in and we're finished. We've gotten that family taken care of and we're going to, we're on to helping another family. So it does get to be a little overwhelming, but it's just because it's an overwhelming process. There's, I always tell my buyers, I do help a lot of first-time home buyers, there's no dumb question and there's no wrong time to ask it. I always tell the customer, if you get up at midnight and you think of a question, shoot me an email. I'll get it to you in the morning. If I'm not up, because sometimes I'm up at crazy hours thinking about work and I can respond to you quickly, giving buyers that direct access to me and the realtors as well. It lets them know I'm a real person. And I'm here to help them. And when they know that and they have that comfort, they want to work with the Clifton Saunders team. They want to come to AMCAP. They want to work with you guys because we work together. So it's a win-win situation. We're helping families. We're helping them get into homes and business is growing, and that's good. We're helping a community of people purchase a home, and that's amazing. It's an amazing thing to me.
It is. It's a great feeling whenever you close someone. And I tell the clients the same thing, especially, new buyers. No question is a dumb question because you know what? We've been doing this for a long time. We talk in code. We talk in language that they don't understand. It's just like when I don't understand anything that anybody does in their job. So why would they know what I do in my terms that I talk about every day? So that is a really, really good point, Crystal, because so anyway, Daniel, did you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to back Crystal. I truly and utterly, no doubt in my mind, believe in everything she does 100% because she's so good. We've worked together for a long time since we both started. We both started this career. We've been working together, and she's definitely the best out there. So and so I really think that her part of it with the communication, that's awesome. That's a big piece of it. Of course, y'all already stressed that's a big part of it. And then the fact that whenever you're handling a transaction like this, it can be a lot of you know how to talk to people or empathize with them or just be able to make them feel more comfortable with the process because, like she said, it is usually the biggest transaction of someone's life. So when you're handling it with care, it just makes it so much better for them. It builds a better comfort, give them a good feeling for them, and that's exactly what we strive for here, especially so that they can just be happy with it. Especially if it's their first time, we want to make sure it's the best experience they have with the communication, with the thinking about, hey, that's their family that's on the line. Not so much as the check, because that's not the way you should do business. More of like, that's their family. That's their kids. I have kids. I have family myself, so I couldn't imagine going through the process without someone being helping, comforting at the most part. And I know Crystal's does that, and that's great, and she's awesome. So
thank you.
Yeah, she is.
So I think that, this is really something that a lot of people just don't know about. Like we said, being behind the scenes is a very important part of this transaction. For the time that we take a listing to the time we take a contract to the time we go all the way to closing. So, what I'd like to do is just give everybody a little bit of time to talk about your self and what you do, and, just let people know how much, first off, I'm the listing agent and team lead on my team. And one of the best things that I love to do is to make a client smile. I love watching, the transaction go from the day we list the property to the day we close. And I know that this is a very stressful thing. I've done it many times myself. And so I just want you to know the Busy Blind team has your best interest at heart, and we really would love your business. So, Morgan's going to talk about what our contact is, our phone number is, and our websites, and at the end of this. So we just want you to know we love you and we want you to work with us. Well, thank you. Kristen, you want to go? Or Dustin?
I'm sorry, I pulled her off because I thought you wanted me to go on.
One of the things that you heard throughout this thing was the client. You kept hearing stuff about the client. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what this is about, is the client. You guys as buyers and sellers going through this process is super intense. It's really emotional. And because we know all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, the stuff that we try and even protect you from, we know how emotional this is. And so really our goal is to remove that fear or that lack of education, or, to define terms, to be available to you. That's really what our goal is. We want you to have a good experience throughout this process. We don't want you to get to the end of this thing and want to drink 2 or 3 bottles of wine. You may still want to drink 2 or 3 bottles of wine, but we don't want you to have to drink that. And so really, that's our goal, is to just constantly stay in contact with you, to be there for you, to answer questions for you, to define terms, to explain what paperwork is, to be there as a text or a phone call or an email or whatever you may need. And that's why I love that they work with Clifton and Crystal, because that is so important. And Martha and Morgan and Kristen are constantly available. I'm going to constantly be available to you. It's just a really good team environment. You're not going to experience a kind of a solo Lone Ranger who's gone and put you under contract, and then what? It's going to be a constant caring for, and that's what I love. That's what makes me happy, because at the end of the day, we're putting our name on this transaction, and our name means everything. So
I have to interrupt and tell a story about something that Dustin did. He really does care about our clients so much that he will go to bat for them if somebody is not doing their job behind the scenes. So I just want you to know that he really does care, and he really takes this seriously. So sometimes we have to slap him across the head and tell him to just laugh.
Sometimes they have to shoot me a text and say, calm down with the bulldog mode. So
All right, Kristen, you want to dive in for yours?
Yeah. What I love best, about this job and what we do here for our clients is it's really not about selling homes to me. It's about building that relationship, that long-term relationship that I'm going to have with each of my clients, and really getting to know their personality, what their family, every family is unique and exactly what they're needing and what they're wanting to grow into. So that is really the most enjoyable part of my job is just the connections and the relationships that I make every day with new people and even old past clients. And that is, so nice to have taken care of somebody's mom or somebody's kids, and then they send their family to me the next year. So that really, really keeps me motivated, and it makes me feel good to know that they trust me enough to refer me to their family and friends later on down the road. So that really, I don't sell the home, that you're going to go in and you're going to fall in love with whatever home you fall in love with for your family. My job is to make sure that you're well informed and you get all the details regarding that home.
Thank you so much, Kristen. And then I want to give Daniel and Crystal and Morgan a time to shine and say their last word. So Daniel and Crystal can go first, and then Morgan, you can close us up. How's that?
Hey guys, I'm back. So yeah, no, to kind of put it on my end of it, that's a big part of it. I know Dustin stressed it, and the buyer's obviously the client always going to be our number one priority, making sure it's a smooth process for you, and the easiest. And it's like you said, it's emotional, and we understand 100%. That's why we make it our priority to make it as comfortable as possible for you. Make sure you're happy, so in a few years you're ready to go again. So that's usually the case, and that's definitely what we strive for here with everything that we do, with everything that Crystal does, Dustin, Morgan, Martha, Kristen, everyone here. We all work together very well, and we all have the same end goal, and that's to help you and your family get into a home. And I mean, if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us here, DM us, text us, email us. You can comment below, share this, anything at all, with anything, any kind of questions, anything we could help out with. So that's it for me. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Daniel.
You know what? Hands down, for me, my number one priority is always my buyers and their family. If I keep that my number one priority, I feel like I'll always be able to satisfy my buyers, help them attain their goal of being a homeowner, and strive to move forward and do better and have more innovative ideas and programs and different things like that. Anything that helps the buyers close faster, get into their home sooner, that's my number one objective. Our team here at AMCAP and the Busy Blonde team work well together. We're a family. And, any customers, whether you DM us, email us, text us, reach out to either team any way that you need to or that you feel comfortable so that we can help you also obtain your goal of being a homeowner as well. That's what we do. That's our thing. That's what we thrive off of. So I'm always available for questions, comments, concerns.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate that. And we really do feel that, we don't want everybody to think that, we only work with just certain people. We work with everybody. We love anyone that comes to our door. We love having any kind of client, any kind of deal that comes our way. But we just really have had a good connection with the AMCAP group, with Clifton Founders team, because they've really, truly taken care of our clients over the last year or whatever we've been using them, and we just appreciate it so much. We love, in this business, nothing's ever the same. We come across different situations every transaction. And Morgan, I'm going to let you close us up and tell about our contest, and then how to get in touch with the Busy Blonde team.
Hey guys, Morgan, assistant to the team. I just wanted to let y'all know we are still doing our contest, which means you can still get that gift card. This is the last show of February, which means that we're going to be doing it and announcing the winner on the next show. So if you want to enter for that Amazon gift card, all you have to do is share this video. Anytime you share any of our videos, you're entered in the contest, and we're doing this once a month. It is for an Amazon gift card. Next show, we'll announce the winner. And if you want to get in contact with the Busy Blonde team, these girls obviously know what they're talking about. You can DM either me or Martha or Kristen, and we would love to help you. Both of them know exactly what they're talking about. Kristen's great for first-time home buyers because she's very patient. Martha knows her stuff. If you want to know exactly what's going on and you don't want to sugarcoat, Martha can do that for you. All right, guys, thank you so much. Does anybody else have anything else to say? Nope. All right, guys, thank you from the Busy Blonde team.
day.